For 20 years, I lived a shadow of a life. A life of cheap instant noodles, second-hand clothes, and a constant, gnawing anxiety that kept me awake most nights. Every single month, like clockwork, $5,000 left my account. $5,000 I'd painstakingly earned, often working double shifts at jobs I hated, just to send home. It was for my sister, Sarah. She had a rare, debilitating illness, or so I was told. A condition that required experimental treatments, expensive medications, round-the-clock care. My parents painted a picture of a brave young woman fighting for her life, and a family teetering on the brink of financial ruin, desperate for my help. I was the eldest, the responsible one. When I moved across the country for a job opportunity, I promised I'd always look out for them. That promise turned into a cage. Every call was about Sarah's latest setback, the new specialist, the mounting bills. My own apartment was a shoebox. My car was a relic from high school. Holidays, vacations, luxuries, my social life withered. Dates ended awkwardly when I explained I couldn't afford a nice dinner, let alone a future. All I had was my meager savings, and that was earmarked, every cent, for Sarah. It was a sacrifice, yes, a painful one, but a necessary one, I believed, to keep my sister alive. I truly believed I was a good son, a good brother, a protector. I clung to their updates, their gratitude, like a lifeline. It was all I had left. The lie went on for 2 decades. 20 years of my life, my youth, my potential, poured into a bottomless pit of deceit. Then, a few months ago, I got a rare few days off. I decided to surprise them. Just show up. I imagined their tears, their gratitude, seeing how much I'd grown, how much I'd struggled for them. I rented a cheap car, drove straight to the address I knew. Only, it wasn't the small, modest house I remembered. It was a mansion. A sprawling, opulent estate, behind ornate gates. 2 brand-new luxury cars gleamed in the driveway, a convertible and a high-end SUV. My heart pounded, a sick, cold dread creeping up my spine. Had they won the lottery? Why hadn't they told me? I walked to the front door, my hand shaking as I rang the bell. Through the panoramic windows, I saw them, my parents. And my sister, Sarah. She wasn't frail. She wasn't sick. She was laughing. A booming, carefree laugh as she chased a golden retriever puppy across a manicured lawn. Perfectly healthy. Radiantly alive. As I stood there, frozen, my dad spotted me through the window. He didn't look shocked or happy. He looked annoyed. He walked out, a smirk on his face. Well, 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 he drawled, looking me up and down, if it isn't the generous fool. Sarah came out then, wiping a tear of laughter from her eye. She saw me and her smile widened into a cruel grin. Look, Dad, she chirped. The loser believed it. He actually thought I was sick all these years. My dad clapped her on the shoulder. The loser believed it, he bellowed, and they both erupted into laughter, right there, in front of their mansion, surrounded by their ill-gotten gains. They pointed at my threadbare clothes, my cheap rental car. They laughed until tears streamed down their faces. My heart didn't just break, it shattered, it calcified. In that moment, something inside me died. The son, the brother, the selfless martyr gone, replaced by a stillness I hadn't known I possessed. My vision narrowed. The world went silent, save for the echo of their cruel laughter. I didn't yell, I didn't cry, I didn't even argue, I just stared at them, not with anger but with a chilling clarity. They were strangers. Monsters who had fed on my love, my loyalty, my life, and then mocked my very existence. I turned, slowly, without a word. I got back in my rented car and drove away. They probably thought I was broken, fleeing in shame. Let them think that. Let them celebrate their victory. Because in the silence of that drive, a new me was born. An architect of ruin. My first stop wasn't a hotel, it was a coffee shop with free Wi-Fi. My phone was a weapon now. I spent the next 72 hours meticulously gathering evidence. Bank statements, going back 20 years, showing every single transaction. Screenshots of their social media, revealing lavish vacations, designer clothes, expensive dinners, all while I was eating ramen. I cross-referenced dates, expenses, even their sick sister updates against their opulent lifestyle. I found discrepancies, contradictions, outright fabrications. The meticulous planning, the layers of lies, revealed themselves like a complex, perverse tapestry. I was building a case. A devastating, irrefutable case. The plan had to be surgical, proportional. They didn't just steal my money, they stole my life, my trust, my future. They needed to lose everything, just like I had. My first call was to a forensic accountant I'd researched online. I hired him to comb through every financial record, every hidden asset, every undeclared income stream. My second was to a lawyer specializing in financial fraud and elder abuse, specifically the abuse of adult children. I compiled a 20-page document, meticulously detailing every transaction, every false claim, every piece of evidence I had. I forwarded it to him with a simple instruction: leave no stone unturned. My third was to the IRS. A quiet, anonymous tip about undeclared income and potential tax fraud, complete with the forensic accountant's initial findings. My fourth was a carefully crafted anonymous letter, along with photographic evidence and detailed accounts, sent to my sister's employer. They ran a very strict charity foundation. I doubted they'd appreciate knowing one of their senior managers had spent 2 decades faking a debilitating illness for financial gain. I made other calls, too, to local authorities, reporting the fraud, to credit agencies, flagging suspicious activity on accounts opened in my name without my knowledge. I pulled every thread, exposing every lie, untangling the web they'd so cleverly spun around me. This wasn't anger. This was justice. The fallout was swift, catastrophic, and for me, incredibly satisfying. It started with the bank accounts. Frozen, all of them, my parents' assets seized pending investigation. Then came the repossession notices. The luxury cars, those symbols of their deceit, were towed away. Sarah was publicly fired from her charity foundation. The news spread like wildfire through their social circles. Their carefully constructed image of respected, struggling individuals shattered. The mansion, the very monument to their fraud, went into foreclosure. The mortgage payments they'd been making with my money suddenly stopped. The eviction notice arrived a week later. They had nowhere to go. Their entire world, built on a foundation of lies, imploded. Just like my world had 20 years ago, the silence from them was deafening for a few days. Then the calls started. The first call was from my mother. Her voice, usually so saccharine and manipulative, was hoarse with panic. "My son, please, you have to help us. They're taking everything. We're being evicted." "Where will we go?" I didn't answer. I let it go to voicemail. There were dozens more. Texts pleading, then my father called, his booming voice reduced to a pathetic whine. "Son, please, it was a mistake. We were just trying to get by. Family helps family, right? Don't you remember all we did for you?" The hypocrisy was astounding. Family helps family. Those words, once my mantra, were now venom on their tongues. Sarah even tried. "Brother," she texted, "I'm so scared. I'm sick again, really this time. Please, you're all I have." Sick again, the audacity. They tried every trick in their old playbook, pulling on every emotional string they'd once expertly played. But the puppet master was gone. The strings were cut. I listened to their desperate pleas, their pathetic attempts at gaslighting, and felt nothing but cold resolve. I had learned their game, and I had learned to play it better. When my lawyer finally set up a meeting, they showed up, broken and defeated, their faces pale and drawn. The opulence was gone, replaced by desperation. They cried, they begged, they promised to change. "Please just stop it. We'll pay you back," my mother sobbed. "You will pay me back," I stated calmly, "every single cent with interest." My lawyer slid a document across the table. "This is an agreement," he explained, his voice equally devoid of emotion. "It stipulates the immediate liquidation of all remaining assets. All proceeds will go directly to any shortfall, will be paid via a garnished percentage of any future income they may acquire for the rest of their lives. Furthermore, due to the magnitude of the fraud, combined with tax evasion charges and the elder abuse statutes you violated, your pensions will be seized, your social security benefits will be significantly reduced, and you will be facing severe penalties from the IRS." "No," my father roared, "you can't do this. We're your parents. You stopped being my parents the moment you decided my life was a piggy bank and my love was a joke," I replied, meeting his furious gaze with an unwavering stare. You wanted me to live on ramen, fine. Now you will learn what it feels like. You wanted to laugh at the loser. Enjoy the last laugh because it's on you now. I signed my name. They had no choice but to sign theirs. The law was on my side. Justice, finally, had arrived. It's been 5 years since that day. My life is unrecognizably different. The endless ramen meals are a distant memory. I built my own business, something I never dared to dream of before. I travel. I have friends, a life. I even found love, with a woman who cherishes honesty and kindness above all else. We have a beautiful home, and a family that is truly mine, built on trust and genuine affection. I see the world with new eyes, no longer clouded by the shadow of a lie. I hear whispers about my old family. They lost everything. The mansion, the cars, their reputation. My parents live in a small, rundown apartment, barely scraping by. Sarah, the once vibrant, laughing sister, struggles to hold down any job, her past fraud following her like a ghost. They got exactly what they deserved. Not just the money back, but the experience of living the life they so cruelly forced upon me. I don't regret a single thing. The pain was immense, the betrayal absolute. But from the ashes of that destruction, I rebuilt myself, stronger, wiser, and truly free. And that, in itself, is the greatest victory of all.